Hello everyone, today we're learning Mציעא Daf Memvav. So we're going to start from Aryeh base, a few lines up. To recap, we had a discussion. We said there's two types of kinyonim. There's kinyon of mekach umemka when you're buying something, when I give someone money to buy something, and we said then money mois enim koinois. And then we had the machloikes Rav and Levi. Even if mois enim koinois, can I use mois b'teres chalipin as a swap? If I give someone money and I want not to buy it off him, to swap it with the item I'm getting, does it work or not? So it says Omer of Papa, about 5 lines up, even if the shit who holds, I can't give someone money to swap it for item. I can't make chalipin with money. That means if I give someone money, that I can't do the kinin chalipin. But if I pull the item, let's say a watch, and with that I want to be makne him the mois b'chol mokim shehem, to do a chalipin that the money should be nikna al yedei chalipin, then money is nikna al yedei chalipin, lefi everyone. Midi similar, the appear like fruit. Rav Nachman lefi shitas Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman lav afal gabdi inu lo yavdi chalipin aknui makne bechalipin, like fruit. The lefi shitas Rav Nachman later on he holds that Paris don't do kinin chalipin. If I'm moishich Paris, I want to makne someone a watch, it does not work because it's not called a keli and it's in the Torah now. There has to be a keli. But even so, if I pull the watch and I makne the fruit, it does work. So also here, even though the mois, you can't do meshicha on mois and makne the item wherever it is, but I could be moishich the item, the metaltelim, and makne the mois wherever they are. Tivenami loishno, the same idea. Tzedek Mor Meitzive, I have a cash on that. Oymid bagorin. So let's a second give akdoma. There is a din of Ma'aseh Sheni that if you want to be poid to the fruit and take it up to your shleim, you have to add a fifth. But that din only applies to the owner of the fruit. If someone else is poider, or if it's fruit that he bought, he does not need to add the fifth. So this guy wants to do a trick to not have to pay this extra fifth. So he's standing in the goren where his pile of wheat is, and he doesn't have in him money on him, and he wants to do this trick. So what does he do? He tells his friend, Aryeh Paris alolu nesunu nechov matona. Take all this fruit, it's your Paris now. And then he comes and says, and he only could do this with his friend that he trusts, because if he doesn't trust his friend just walk away with the Paris. But after he gives his friend his Paris, he says, Aryeh ein mechulolim al moish yesh li babais. After he is poider, after this fruit doesn't belong to him, it belongs to his friend now. So now when he's poider him on Ma'aseh Sheni, on the money that he has in his house, it's not his fruit, and therefore he doesn't have to add the fifth. Until here, the end of the brisa. It says the Gemara, "Time dein biyodoy mois." It says in the brisa because he doesn't have money. That's why he has to do this whole trick. Hoyesh biyodoy mois. If he'd have money with him in the goren, he'd do something else. Likni leu leidoch b'meshicha. He would be makne to his friend the money b'meshicha. Take the money, it's yours, and then uparik, and then his friends would be poida the fruit. So let's say Reuven is standing in Goren, it's his fruit, it's his money. He gives the money to Shimon. Shimon now has the money, and he'll be poida this fruit. The hochi odif, the avelei nochri. That Shimon, who owns this money now, is a proper nochri to the Paris. He never belonged to the Paris, and therefore it's less of a aroma, it's less of a trick on Maisa to save the fifth. But because he doesn't have money with him, he only has money at home. That's why he has to do makna in the Paris, and then he himself, Reuven, to be poidet, even though that he's less of a nochri. If matbea could be nikna, could be koina, someone could be koina to chalipin, niknu lumois lahaich agav sodo lifroik. Why doesn't, if we say that matbea could be nikna bechalipin, why doesn't this Reuven, who owns this fruit and has money in his house, do a chalipin with Shimon, take off Shimon a suda, a piece of cloth, b'tmuras zeh makne him his money that's in his house, and then Shimon will be paid the fruit. Elomai, you could see that money can't be nikna b'chalipin. So the Gemara, no, the lesle suda. It's talking about where Shimon doesn't have a suda, so you can't do chalipin. So the Gemara, okay, another kasha, lefi Rashi we're going to go, this kasha is a general kasha on this brisa, v'niknu nu'alei agav karka. Why can't Reuven be makne this money that he has in his house, agav karka, give him a piece of land, and agav that he'll be koine the money, and now Shimon's going to have money to be paid this fruit, and he won't have to pay choimish. So the Gemara, the lesle karka, Reuven doesn't have karka to be makne. So the Gemara of Oimed Begorin Ktoni. It says he's standing in his Gorin, that's where all his fruit is in a big pile. So the Gemara Begorin Sheina Shelo Yitzoma, where he doesn't own the land over there. So the Gemara Ve'ichpil Tana le'ashmuinin Gavra Tuloi de Lesle Veloi Klum. Did the Tana come to tell you such a funny case that's talking about a case who has nothing? He doesn't have a suda, he doesn't have a karka, and he has nothing, and that's the case of the brisa. It doesn't really make sense. Elo lav shma mino. What do we see from here? Ein matbea nikne bechalipim. Shma mino. It's no mistaba to say that the brisa is talking about such a complicated case. It's much more mistaba to say because you can't do chalipim on matbea. You can't be makne money with chalipin. Not like Rav Sheshes is saying. And therefore we shlogged up Rav Sheshes. Tzedek more of Afra Papa. Sorry, it wasn't Rav Sheshes or Rav Papa who said it. Tzedek more of Afra Papa, Oda Rav Papa himself was Choizeboy. Yehoda Rav Papa, because there was a story Rav Papa, Avale Tresa Alfe Dinre Bechuzoi. Bechuzoi owed him 12,000 dinrim, big sum of money. Now he wanted to send Shmuel Bar Acha to fetch the money, but he knew if he'd send him, they wouldn't give him the money if it doesn't belong to him. So what did he do? Akninu. He was makne this choiv that's owed him by Bechuzoi Rav Shmuel Bar Acha Agav Aseifa de Beisa, Agav the entrance of his house, that means Agav Karka, and then it belonged now to Shmuel Bar Acha, and then he went to Bechuzoi and picked up the money. And Kiosa, when Rav Shmuel Bar Acha came back with the money, Nopak La'ape at Tovach, he was so excited that he came with his money that Rav Papa went all the way out to Tavach, it's another place that's outside where he lived, to welcome him because he was so excited that he got his money back. And if you could be makne money in a Kinyan Agav, Rav Papa would be makne at Kinyan Agav. In Kinyan Chalipin, it's much easier Chalipin. You just take a piece of cloth and you do Chalipin. Why do you have to give him a whole piece of land and do Agav? It's much more complicated. So Elomai, we could see Rav Papa change his mind and he holds you can't be makne money in Chalipin. V'cheino ma'ola, going back to the machlokes we said earlier, kan matbea du Chalipin, not what we were talking about, kan he makne matbea bechalipin, kan matbea du Chalipin says v'cheino ma'ola, ein matbea nasa Chalipin, you can't. V'cheino maravasi, ein matbea nasa Chalipin, v'chein omar Rabba bar Rav Chana, omar Rabbi Yochanan, ein matbea nasa Chalipin. All these Amoraim hold that you can't do a Mashiach or Matbea and Makne Chalipin something else. Rav Abba asked the Kasha on this. It says, Aryeh oyu chamorov upoyalov tovim oisu bashuk. His donkey riders and his workers were suing him in the market. And they want to say, you owe us wages. So he goes to a money changer who has money. Tell me bedina mois, give me change of a dinner, the value of a dinner in small coins, in copper coins, and I'll pay my workers what I owe them. And when I get home, I'm going to pay you back with the extra, not only a dinner, I'll give you dinner and trusis, it's the extra. So says the Brisa, if he has the money at home, mutter. Also, it's forbidden. Now the Gemara understands that how could he do it? It's ribis. He's taking from this money changer a dinner and he's giving him back a dinner and trisis. So how is he allowed to do it? So the Gemara understands that the reason is because it's with chalipin. What's the issue of ribis? I'm not allowed to take money, and with them until and pay back more later, because why am I paying more later? Because he's only getting the money later, because he's waiting for his money and I'm paying extra for that. That's ribis. But if it's chalipin, straight away becomes his. There's no amtonas moris and it's mutter, even though they're getting a bigger sum. So, said the Gemara, ve'isal kedai toch ein matbea nase chalipin avele alvo. So if he can't do chalipin, it's alvo. He's taking from him now only one dinner and he's giving him back a dinner and trissis later on. V'asa, and it's forbidden, it's ribis. Ishtik, Ula never had what to answer on this kasha. Omalei, so the one who asked, Rav Abba who asked Ula said, I have a turret for you. Dilma idi ve'idi beprutito ishonu. Deleka alayu tiva. Ve'idi ve'idi perave. Umeshumochin niknu b'chalipin. Said Rav Abba to Ula, I have a turret, I'll tell you a turret. Maybe it's talking about coins that doesn't have a shape on it, like we said, asimoy, and doesn't have a shape, and therefore it's not considered money. Money is not nikna b'chalipin, but prayers for sure is nikna b'chalipin. And this money that doesn't have a shape on it, it's not considered money, it's considered prayers, and that's why you could do chalipin with it. Omalei, so Ula liked the turret, said, yes, good turrets. They kenami, I'll bring you even a raya that your turret is right. Diktoni yofed din of etrusis. It says yofed din of etrusis. It doesn't say din of yofed etrusis. It doesn't say a nice din of etrusis. It says value of a dinner and trusis. So it must be talking about shma mino. That's not really a good dinner. It's talking about the value of a dinner, but it's talking about coins are not really money. They don't have a shape on them, and that's why it's nikna b'chalipin, and that's why it's not ribis. Ravashi Omar lo ilom bedomi. It's talking about literally money and copper coins that are money with a shape on it. All it's ribis. No. Kevon the Islay, since he has this money at home, when he goes to the money changer, he has this money sitting at home, he just doesn't have it on him. Reuben comes to Shimon and says, lend me 10 pounds until I'll find the key for my safe, until my son's going to give me the 10 pounds, he's on the way, and I'll pay you back a little bit more. It's not a problem of ribis because it's not charam tolas mois, he's just stuck without the key, or he's just waiting for his son. So therefore, over here as well, since he has the money at home, it's not considered ribis. Just doesn't have it here, but he has the money, and therefore it's not considered ribis, and we could be talking about that. We're talking about proper coins, proper money. Toshma, come and listen. Kol anase domim ba'acher. It's a Mishnah in Kedushin. Anything that you use as money, that's how the Gemara understands already now. That's a havamina. Anything that's you used regular as money, and that's money. Kevan shezochoze, once I do meshicha on the money, nischayev ze bechalipin. Said the Gemara, chalipin works on it. Said the Gemara, kol anase dom ba'acher my new matbea, so my coin. V'shma mino matbea nase chalipim nefurish Mishnah that you could do chalipim on matbea, and here all the Amoraim said you can't do chalipim on matbea. Omar of Yehuda ochikoma. This is pshat in the Mishnah. Kol anishoim domim ba'acher, not anything that's used as money. No, anything that when you want to sell it, you estimate the value of how much it's worth in money to sell it. That means metaltelim, the opposite, no money, anything metaltelim. Let's say a watch. If you want to sell it, you say, okay, this watch has so much and so much value, and then you sell it. So anything that's metaltelim, kevan shezocha, once one does a meshicha on this, nitzchayev ze bechalipin, the other one is chayev and the chalipin. So it's talking about metaltelim, it's not talking about coins, and therefore it makes sense in Mishnah. Says the Gemara, it's mistabra to say this way, that it's talking about kol anishoim midiktoni seifa. In that Mishnah, in the seifa, it says ketzad. What's the case? Ichlif shoyber para, someone who swapped a ox with a cow, or chamroi b'shor, or a donkey with an ox. Shmamino. It says clearly that the ketzad is explaining the reisha, and it says a donkey and a cow. So we must be talking about metaltelim, not about money, because if not, it should say ketzad, money on gold coins and silver coins. Since it said Ketzad on metaltalim, it must be the ratios to my metaltalim. So the Gemara will remind us, Lefi the Hava Mina, that we said that Kol Anisha Domim Ba'acher means a coin. My Ketzad, how did he learn the Mishnah? How could he learn like that? The ratio, it says afterwards a donkey and a cow. So the Gemara Ochikoma. Lefi the Hava Mina, this is Pshat. Kol Anisha Domim Ba'acher means matbea. And then when it says Ketzad, it's coming to tell you another din. Uperi nami avdi chalipin. Ketzad ichlif shor b'por or chamor b'shor. That means the Mishnah is saying like this: anything that's money is even on money you could do chalipin. And then it says Ketzad, it's coming to tell you another din that even on Paris that's not keli you could do chalipin, because Rav Nachman holds that something that's not keli you can't do chalipin. So come the Mishnah over here to say that no, even Paris like a donkey or cow that's not a keli, you could still do chalipin on it. That's, by the way, the Mishnah is telling you another din. So the Ketzad is coming to explain you how chalipin works, and it's coming to tell you, by the way, another din that also Paris could be worked, even something that's not a keli. So the Gemara, Hani Chaler of Sheshes, this is very good if you're of Sheshes, the Omar later on, Peri Avdi Chalipin, that you could do a Paris Chalipin, even though that's not keli. Elel Rav Nachman, the Omar keli in. Aval Peri Loi Avdi Chalipin, if you're Rav Nachman who holds, oh, Paris, you can't do chalipin. My Ketzad, how are you going to explain the Ketzad? You explain the whole Ketzad over here. That's coming to tell you that Paris, you could do chalipin. But if you're Rav Nachman, Paris can't do chalipin. Why? He has a cash on the Mishnah. How will Rav Nachman deal with that? So the Gemara, yesh domim shen kechalipin. The Mishnah is coming to say that there is a case where money could be used as chalipin. Ketzad, what's the case? Hichlift meishor reper or dmei chamor b'shor. So, what's the case? Tiny bit complicated. Reuven sold Shimon an item, let's say an ox or a cow. So now Shimon was moishech this ox or the cow. So now Shimon owes Reuven what they agreed on, let's say £100. Now Shimon comes to Reuven and says, you know what, I owe you £100. I have a cow. Or I have another item. Do you want that item instead of the £100? And Reuven says yes. So really, this £100 belongs to Reuven. And Reuven says, yeah, you can keep the money and I want this cow that you're offering me. That's what the Mishnah is coming to tell you, such a case. And the Mishnah is saying, in such a case, even though that's really a kinyan of mois, chalipin does work. And that's pshat in the Mishnah when it says Ketzad ichliv shor b'por. It doesn't mean literally shor b'por. Dmei chamor. And that he owes him money for something he bought, and then it's giving him instead of the money another item, and the item is nikna straight away, even without doing meshicha. Says the Gemara, my time at Rav Nachman. What's pshat in Rav Nachman? Why does suddenly mois koinos? We said mois einem koinos in the first Mishnah over here in Azov. So the Gemara, Sovalak Rabbi Yochanan, he holds like Rabbi Yochanan the Omra, who holds Dvar Torah Mois Koinas, really midaraisa. If I give someone money to be koina, metaltalim, it's koina. We play Ma'amur Meshicha koina, and why did we say that Meshicha is koina and Mois are not koina? Gzera, because it's Gzera Shema, Yomer Loi Nisru Fuchitecha Ba'aliyah. We said this early on in the first Mishnah, this pshat, that it's Gzera de Rabbanon, that if I give someone money, and now this guy took the money and he owes me wheat, and now the wheat is still sitting in his attic, and I don't fetch a wheat, and the wheat's already mine because Mois is koinus miduraisa. So now if there's a fire, he's not going to care about the wheat. It's my wheat. He doesn't care about it. He's not going to try saving it, and therefore we don't want that to happen. So Rabbanon Mugoiza that Mois enem koinus. And until I don't do Mashiach on the wheat, it doesn't become mine. Says the Gemara, Milsa de Shchicha, when it's a common case where, like Mekach Amemka, where I give money, where it's common, a normal case where I give money to buy something, goes over Rabbanon. Rabbanon made this Gzera that Mois enem koinus k'shem yoyim anisra fuchtecha ba'aliyah. Milsa de lo Shchicha, in such a case where I'm not giving him straight out money. He owes me money for item he bought, and now he's changing that on something that I want. It's not something that's common. Loi gozru b'Rabbanon. In a case that's not common, Rabbanon will not go to this gzera that mois einam koinos, and therefore in such a case, mois will be koina, and that's the chiddush of the Mishnah in Kiddushin Lifri Rav Nachman. Not that Paris or koina, that's dmei para. It's not the para itself, it's a dmei para, and in such a case, mois is koina, even though the mois normally not koina because it's not common, and in such a case, loi gozru Rabbanon, the mois einam koinos. Said the Gemara, Rish Lakish, the Amar Meshicha Mefureshes Minatora, Rish Lakish argues on Rabbi Yochanan, and he holds that Me'atora Meshicha, only Meshicha works and Mois doesn't work, and that's why Mois ain't koinis, because Me'atora it's not koina. Only Meshicha, Hanicha Isav ala Rav Sheshes. Metaretz Rav Sheshes, very good if you hold like Rav Sheshes, that Paris do work. You could do Chalipin on Paris, and therefore the mission in Kiddushin where it says Ichlif Shoiver Para, Chalipin works because it's Paris, and that's a chiddush of the Mishnah, very good. Ela Yisav ala Rav Nachman, if you hold Zak Rav Nachman, Doma Peri Le'av the Chalipin, that Paris, anything that's not Keli, you can't do Chalipin, Umatbea Loi Koni, and Rish Lakish holds that coins, Matbea can't be koina, because Me'atur Matbeas are not koina. How will he explain the Mishnah in Kiddushin where it says that you could do chalipim on a donkey and a cow? If he doesn't hold like Rav Sheshes, if he holds like Rav Sheshes, we said it means because Paris are koina, but if he doesn't hold like Rav Sheshes, he holds like Rav Nachman that Paris ain't koinos. So Rav Nachman explained over there that the reason over there it's talking about mois, and mois is koina in a case where it's not shchiach, but that you could only say if it's a takana rabbanon, roi go to rabbanon. But if Meikar din mois in koinis, why shouldn't that work? Mois yes work. So the Gemara al kocha Rav Sheshes mitaretz. It must be the Rish Lakish who holds mois in koinis midiraisa also holds like Rav Sheshes the Paris you could do chalipin, and therefore the Mishnah Kiddushi must be talking about where you're doing chalipin with Paris. Now we learned in the Mishnah kol metaltelim koinim zeh all metaltelim you could do chalipin. V'amar Rish Lakish, afilu kole kis mole mois, a wallet full of money, b'kis mole mois, you could do chalipim on a wallet full of money, we could see that you could do chalipim on money, and we're saying that you can't. Said the Gemara, Tigumar of Acha, it's talking about these wallets full of money, bedina anka ve'anigra. One is a wallet full of money and anka, and one is a wallet full of money and nigra. And the difference is, echod, one of them is sheposlosoi malchus, that the king said this is not good coin, but the people in the kingdom still use a coin in secret, like in some countries you're not allowed to use a dollar, but there's still a black market for the dollars. The other type of coin is talking about where the people in the country don't like this coin. The king never said it's a wrong coin, but the people in this country don't like using this coin. And therefore, because it's not proper coins, you can't use these coins properly. It has a din metaltelim, it has a din Paris, and therefore you could do chalipim on such coins. But really on matbeis, you can't do chalipim. And you need to tell you both of these type of coins that you could do chalipim on. Why? If you'd only tell me the case where it's possible because of the kingdom, because of the king said it's not good coin, you'd say mishum deloy sagi klal, because legally you can't use this coin at all because the malchus passed it, and therefore you'd say, oh, that's why it's called metaltelim and not a matbea, and that's why you could do chalipin. If everyone said in this country that we don't use it, then in a different country they're still using this coin, who you'd think it's still considered money, and therefore you can't do chalipin. That's why we needed to tell you that such a coin, even though they can use in a different country, since over here you can't use it, it's considered metaltelim and you could use it as chalipin. If you'd only tell you about a coin that the people stopped using it, and you wouldn't tell you about a coin that the kingdom stopped, you'd say, you know why you could do chalipim on that? No one uses this coin. The people don't use it, not in public and not in hidden, because people don't like this coin, and that's why you could do chalipim on it. Avol poslosi malchus, but in a case where the kingdom said this is not a good coin, the sagale bitzina, that people still use this coin in secretly, who maybe it's still considered a coin, it's still considered money, therefore, that's why we need to tell you on both types of coins, doesn't matter if the kingdom stopped it, doesn't matter if the people stopped it, it's not considered any more money, and you could do chalipim on it. And therefore, we understand the chiddush of Rish Lakish on both types of coins, but for sure, if it would be a real money, Rish Lakish is moida that you can't do chalipim on money. Shkoyach.